Hi and welcome to Easy Fishing. Well, it's Christmas Eve and I'm sure like everybody else I've been embroiled in preparations for Christmas. So the tree's up, it's decorated, presents are wrapped and delivered and cards. Christmas dinner's ready for cooking tomorrow and I finally got about 2 hours or less for fishing. So what I've done is I've taken myself down to a small chalk stream which I've fished on before, and this is a section that I used to fish from the other bank, and then they built a load of flats and stuff on it, and since then they've been very anti-angling. So today I'm just using my old original John Wilson 11-foot quiver, a Drennan Series 740 sized rear drag, 6-pound line straight through, hair rigged and used with a quick stop piece of peperami, and that's all the bait I have with me today, other than some small amounts of PVA bagged pellets, which one of these, I'm not glugging it or anything like that, I'm just going to nick it on the hook like that, and I'm under an overhanging, what is it? I'm not sure, could be a horse chestnut, but could make fishing somewhat precarious. So anyway, I'm just going to lob this a little way downstream. Slight bend in the quiver tip, which I can see perfectly. And if there's any barbel in the swim, I hope I'll get a response. If not, chub, and no doubt the usual dace and roach and chublets will be banging away at that tip. Pay a bit of line out into it. So yes, and because it's Christmas, I can't have a drink, but I've actually bought a flask with me, only half filled, but it is nice to have a hot coffee, and I'm perched on my little Shakespeare folding stool, which is dead handy for this kind of fishing. When I was younger I would have sat on the ground, but now I'm older, that's out of the question. So absolute luxury for me this is. And over in the distance I can spy a cat perched on the side of the river looking at it intently. So I don't know what it's seen, but it's obviously seen something. Anyway, let's crack on with the fishing and hope we get something. Oh yes, it's a pretty grey, dull sort of day. The river was in flood 2 days ago and it's dropped quite dramatically, which is a shame. I was actually hoping to catch it in flood. By the look, when I looked at it the other day, it was over the banks in places and up to the top of the bank in other places, but being a chalk stream it runs off very quickly and doesn't get very coloured. Even in full flood there's still quite good visibility, and I guess that's because the chalk is filtering the water. But like I say, this is a final chance to relax before I have to cook 2 Christmas dinners, one on Christmas Day for family and one on Boxing Day for family and friends. So I'm going to be a busy little bee and I won't get any rest. So just to grab a couple of hours down by the river is a real treat. Well, I'm getting loads of little taps and rattles on the tip as presumably enthusiastic small fish try and rag that peperami. And the reason I'm using peperami is purely because of the small fish. If I was to fish soft luncheon meat, they would whittle it and drag it and yank it until it came off the hook, and I've learnt that from bitter experience on this river. Luncheon meat is a fantastic bait, but when it's being ragged stupid by small fish, it has a habit of being pulled off the hair. Hence peperami, which stays on. And the fish seem to love peperami. Summer just gone, I did a video, how far from here was I? About 300 or 400 yards upstream, catching barbel and chub on peperami. And although it's winter, I am hopeful. I know the fish won't be record breakers, but I'm not really bothered about that. I would just like to get myself a nice Christmas fish. Brace myself for 2 days of overeating. And yes, it's quite a pleasant little spot. I'm mostly sheltered from the wind and tucked behind a fence, so I'm not silhouetted against a skyline, because in a small clear river like this you really don't want to spook it. Mind you, with me messing around, I set up the rod back from the water, but messing about with the camera and stuff probably didn't help, so we'll just sit back and wait. And to be honest, if I don't catch anything, I'm not bothered. I've just had my fill of Christmas shopping and all the other bits that go with it, and I now need a break. Well, I'm getting loads of bites, and now it's started to rain, so I hope it stops pretty quick, as I'm going to have to put the camera away and try and use a GoPro, which I didn't want to do due to its not having such good volume or whatever. But yeah, I'm getting loads of little sharp plucks and pulls and rattles and whatever on the rod top, but no actual bites that are hittable as yet. But I did expect this, so we'll just have to hope the rain doesn't last, because otherwise, like I say, the camera will have to go away. Yes, this is such a shallow stream that my bait about 15 yards downstream I can still see, and that's in probably 18 inches of water, and I can see a peperami on the bottom. But I know the fish are here. Whether they're in this swim today and whether they're feeding, of course, is the big question. But I don't care. Like I said, I'm out. All I want is the rain to stop, which it looks like it is reducing to a fine drizzle. So, yes, just carry on. Well, that was typical. Pouring myself a cup of coffee, and the rod got wrenched round in as good a barbel bite as you could get. And of course, having a cup of coffee in one hand and a flask in the other, I missed it. I hope that's not my only chance of the day though. So I'll just carry on and see if I can get a fish on the bank. Well, I've just had a bite that actually pulled the rod off the rod wrist. If I hadn't grabbed the butt, I think I would have lost the rod, but I still missed the fish. So yes, I don't quite know what's going on here, and I guess I've probably only got about half an hour left, but I don't like giving up. And to be honest, if I blank, it's not the end of the world, you know. Look at that bite there. No, I don't know if the camera caught that one, but that quiver tip hammered round. Got a feeling they're probably small chub. But just the way it goes. I don't know what they are that's grabbing the bait, but I would be pretty certain that's small chub. But it might be barbel. And the way this thing's taking off, feels shaking its head like a chub. And he's trying for the near side snag, so I guess it's a chub. Let's have a look. Chub or barbel? It's a chub. So yes, I'm happy. And he's safely in the net. Oh, that's a nice fish. And he swallowed that out of sight. Let's get my forceps. So there we have a beautiful slender winter chub. At 2.5 pounds, I guess, which is a good size for a tiny little stream like this. And yes, you cannot beat chub. And if that's all I get, I'm going to go home a happy bunny. Let him rest in the river for a minute to recover. And there's something magical about watching him literally melt away out of sight. Well, like I say, if I get nothing else, not going to complain. Well, the rain has come back again. The light is just about gone. So I'm going to call it quits and get my camera away before it gets ruined in the water. All I'd like to say is I wish all my viewers a very Merry Christmas, and hopefully in the new year this weather will abate a little bit and the fishing will become a little bit easier. But I don't hold out any great hopes. So once again, Merry Christmas everybody, and tight lines.